So the bed I got for Hugh. Well, technically, I guess the bed I
The
got for the
bed
studio.
you got for where you're
Yeah,
at right now?
yeah. It came the other day, and it's this fold out. Actually, let me see if I can send you a link. It's a foldable metal frame with an air mattress that kind of goes on top. Uh,
Okay.
and it's supposed to hold 800 pounds.
Wow. So just barely enough for me.
Wow. Wow, Joe. All right, I need to change that. What do you think about to
What's that?
the council of dads needs to be, how to not be so hard on yourself.
What's that with my 1,000-pound sister? It's not big enough for her.
No, that is true. There's parts of the world that are not big enough for her. Let's see.
There, yes.
Copy, paste, boom. There it is. So yeah, I looked through it and get her, but it says scrolling down.
I need to add one to the "What do you think about" / Council of Dads for a topic.
Hop on pop. Let's see. But hopefully it's nice and comfortable and solid. I cannot find where I found the weight on it, but I definitely looked at the weight before I ordered it.
Okay. Heavy duty outdoor bed for adults.
Why? And what's this 12D? I don't even know what 1200D layer. What is even that to mean?
Charles wants to know what the D is.
Oh my lord. Okay, I set you up for that. I set you up for that one. The adult KB bed. Yeah, there it is. Supports up to 800 pounds. Was it sturdy enough to bear one adult or two children? It's like, what? What? 800 pounds will only hold one adult or two children. Hey, Devo. All the family is out doing stuff. That's right. Narando kiddo is there. We're just sharing Amazon links as we're TikToking.
It's true. It is
that time?
Very true.
Oh, guess what? It is that time.
Get ready to laugh out loud with Wise and Nerdy, the show hosted by two hilarious dads who bring their unique blend of wit, wisdom, and nerdiness to the airwaves. From sharing hilarious anecdotes about their own experiences to giving advice on navigating the ups and downs of life, these two dads have got you covered. But that's not all. They're also obsessed with all things nerdy, from comic books and sci-fi movies to video and board games. So whether you're a fellow dad, a pop culture fanatic, or just in need of a good laugh, this is Wise and Nerdy. And now let's have some fun.
Oh, what's up, kiddos? It's time for the Wise and Nerdy. We may not be your fathers, we'll always be your daddies. Oh, that over there is Joe_Ard. Hey, you know what? I'm the Rock Out Podcasting. Tonight, my fit is my jersey by Aweo. What EMS? Because I am really on a mission to get personal sponsors for my life where I make media all the time. So Aweo is my boys. They made my jersey. And yes, I was going to pull that up. Joe, thank you for. Oh, no. Bring it back. You rushed intro there, but that's okay. Put it back. Daniel, the dribbler. Hi, guys. Love you guys. Used to listen to your Pokemon Go stuff. Awesome. Glad you can make it in. Oh, look. VO by Pop Pop.
Oh, wait. What happened? Charles disappeared. He got turned into Kurt.
Hello, everybody. I'll get here when I can. It's all right.
What kind of accent was that?
It's the only one I can do. Hey, Daniel's from Australia. So there you go. So Pop, you ain't got nothing to say?
Oh, I'm just waiting for you to stop your yapping.
No, well, you've met me. You know that ain't gonna happen, man. It's gonna take a hot minute. Last week we had Stoner Gump on, had a lot of fun. Kurt, when that hits the airways, I think you're gonna like it. Joe, have you put out any clips on it?
Not on it, no.
Where would they find those clips when you do put them out? Come on, man,
yeah,
work with me here.
I post a daily clip over at Wise and Nerdy WNN Clips, Wise and Nerdy Clips on YouTube. So that's our clips channel. It gets one clip every day. Drops at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So
you know
stuff.
what? We would love some of your feedback. Not necessarily on the clips, which sure, yeah, everybody goes, go watch them and tell us what you think. Yeah, we want that. But no, seriously, Joe and I've been bandying about different AI clip programs to say, I find a new one and go, hey Joe, what do you think about this? Because he does that part of it. He does you cut it by hand. Is that right, Joe? You just kind of cut.
Yeah. I have the physical tapes. I use the scissors and I cut it all by hand.
What's the size of the reel?
A little bit bigger.
What's the playback speed?
Than your face.
That's about right. A little bit bigger than my face. Yeah, that's a good measurement.
But not as big as your head. Because you've got a big head.
You got the wrong reel. Oh.
Nothing's quite that big.
But being the butt face that you are, Joe, you go in with your digital editor and you hand select personally the clips instead of like sending some kind of program through to find the best clips.
Correct. I mean, with our show, it's fairly easy because I literally just clip out he
just only clips where
segments.
he's talking and so it's very easy to find.
It's very true. So, but it's good stuff. And yeah, I've been posting a video there every day since mid-January. So
hold on a second, Kurt. Joe, do you believe this guy? It looks like he's lost even more weight in the past 2 weeks since he hasn't been here. I'm tired of his stuff. All right, cool. I'm glad you're back, Kurt. It's all
I don't
good.
know what you're talking about.
He's prepping for a bodybuilding competition.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Oh my goodness. All right, we've got.
He's going full buff Santa for Christmas.
Yep.
It's the question of the week.
Now we have one, but before that, Daniel asks, what level are you guys on Pokemon Go? Mine's easy. I don't know. I haven't played it in a hot minute, so I just got real busy with life and it just kind of fell off. But Joe, I think you still play actively?
No, I do not play actively. I'm level 54, I believe.
I think I didn't make it to 50 before.
No,
40
you were
was
like level 42.
Yeah. Hey, good place to stop. That's all I'm saying. 42,
no, that's not
man.
right because it only goes up to 50. I must be 44.
Sure.
I haven't played for a hot minute.
I think I'm like at 37.
Devo's still waiting for me to open the gift. Daniel says it's 54.
Daniel's like, call it out your BS. 50's the max.
Yeah. And oddly enough, I follow this creator on TikTok that does niche tea, and she just talks about all the stuff, the drama in the communities you probably are not a part of. And I find it interesting because I don't follow Warhammer 40K, but there's something there or something in theater world. She actually did a Pokemon Go tea episode the other day where there was drama going on there, where they updated the art on the avatars or something.
Yes. It looks very weird. I have seen some pictures. Yeah.
I almost booted the program just because they said that customization of your avatar got better.
Oh, from everything I've heard from the community, it got way worse.
And I saw some of the pictures of what she's showing. It's weird, but hey, each their own. It's all good. But that's not the question of the week. Kurt.
Yes.
The question of the week is, what do you put off unnecessarily?
This show.
That is true. That is true. Waka,
What do I put off unnecessarily?
I'll give you my example. Y'all guys
Yeah,
think about it. if you've been watching for the last few weeks, I've talked about, my camera's in the house, and that's it. I had it in this little Pelican case. It's easy to tote. It's 20 yards across the yard to get to the house to just tote it back out here. Finally tonight I got it put up, but I put it off for almost a month. And I do 2 shows a week basically, and I've been using my other camera and just not putting it up, and I don't know why. I didn't really have a reason not to do it. I just put it off unnecessarily. And then what you can't see behind me, lots of mess. There's so much stuff I need to clean up. Hugh is coming next month for the end of the month, and he'll be sleeping here. Then, of course, Dragon Con will have other people here. But I want to get my light box set up. I want to do some other things back there. And it's just crapped up for no reason. I have energy and time on the weekends, but then I go, I'm really going to sit in the sunshine and smoke a cigar instead of clean up my studio. So that kind of thing is just unnecessary. I've got, between my daughter and I, there's probably a dozen empty soda cans sitting here on the desk that easily I could just take it back inside with me, and I just don't. And it's so dumb. It's the littlest thing. So that kind of thing. What is it that you guys put off unnecessarily?
Smacking the bed of my 3D printer with a hammer, trying to level it out just a little bit because it's off.
And you have the hammer on camera, but you haven't done it yet.
Yeah, and it's the center, like the 4 corners are roughly level with each other, but the center of it is off by just a smidge, and yeah, so I need to try smacking it a couple of times, see if I can level it out a little bit more. Or maybe it's an air pocket underneath the bed or something. But yeah.
And it's something, not literally, but could I guess it's something that, sitting off to your side. So you're at work, like, all right, we're kind of done early, or the meeting got done early. And instead of working on it, you like scroll on TikTok or do something else sitting right next to it.
I'm touching the 3D printer right now.
No, I figured that's not the point, Mr. Literal.
But yes, it is literally right next to me.
Are you doing, you're doing other crap instead of taking few minutes to do that, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always busy with stuff, but it wouldn't take that long to give it a try. So, especially because I still haven't finished the Keyblade that I started for my son back in December. So all that's left is the handle, but the handles are so wide that I really need the bed to be level, because I've tried printing the handle multiple times and it's always messed up because of bad bed adhesion, either on the outsides because the center is a little bit too high, or just it gets hung, whatever, because it's not exactly level. It has that issue.
How long do you think it would take you to do it?
To give it a try?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, smack it a couple of times and then try to level it, maybe 20 minutes.
The leveling takes a minute.
To see if it actually helped at all.
Welcome to the new segment of the show. Joe levels his bed.
Yes, Kurt! I knew bringing Pop back tonight was a great idea. Joe wanted to put you in a home. I'm like, no, let's let him have one more episode first.
Yeah.
He's not wrong, man. Joe. While we're doing a say or something, you can easily like ting. But then are you worried that you're going to be turned over there trying to make sure you do the paper leveling the whole time, or what?
That's what I would have to do, yeah, is the paper leveling, because it's the old version, so it doesn't have an auto leveler or anything like that.
All right. New segment. Ting that plate. Ting that plate.
Yeah, soundboard is no longer on. It's just you have to hear a whack in between each segment.
I do get that the setup of it, getting that right, can be a minute, but you can hit it one good time on the show. I'm just saying.
Thwack.
What about you, Kurt?
So I have
there, I smacked it.
Cool. I have these acoustic insulation panels, and I've got wooden frames for them, and I've got muslin to put over them so that I can hang them around this studio. And I've been in that same situation for approximately 3 years.
I was gonna say 3 years because we were doing from the helicarrier, and it's
Yep.
been
Yep. And I will say that one of the reasons
yeah.
is it is going to take some time, but honestly, if I have all the material laid out in the right way, like a mise en place, for people who know what that means. If I have it laid out, it is a cooking term.
Oh, I thought you meant hold for applause.
No, it really means it kind of, you set up your workspace so everything's there, is really kind of what it is.
Okay.
If I were to do that, literally it would take me 4 or 5 hours and then I'd be done.
You know what the craziest thing though, Kurt, is? If we live near each other, I would come over to your house and I'd be like, oh, let's do this and bring the energy, but we won't do it for ourselves. Right. Possibly saying you come over like, come on, man, let's make this thing awesome. But yeah, it's crazy. But we absolutely, undeniably both ding that plate. But you know, Joe's Joe.
Yeah. I mean, come on, you got the hammer.
Roll that dice.
So tonight, as he gets that pulled up, we have some jokes. All you guys on the speak pipes, that's all you got anymore is jokes. Don't wait for me. Hit the button. Hit the button.
A commercial break.
Wait, no, kid, it's way too early for that.
Daddy, can you tell me a story?
Yeah, okay, kiddo. That's for you, Daddy. Joe has.
I didn't even notice what you put in.
Yeah, it's what's this story about college?
Yes. So I retook a college course that I had a B- in because I wanted a better grade. And that may sound really, really dumb, but
totally, 100%. Yeah.
I had calculated that if that B- got changed into an A, I would qualify for a full tuition scholarship the next semester. And so I did it purely for monetary reasons to get a full tuition scholarship.
So you spent money from somewhere to take the class again, because the classes aren't free.
Well, sort of. So the college I went to, you only pay for the first, was it 16 or 12 credits? You only pay for the first X number of credits, and then if you take classes beyond that, you don't pay anymore. You pay for that.
What kind of communist country did you go to for school?
So I went to
sense,
I went to Brigham Young University in Idaho, and if you have what they consider a full semester is either 12 or 14 credits, and whatever you take beyond that, you don't have to pay extra for. And so if you took, 20 or 24 credits, however much you want to, punish yourself, you could graduate twice as fast and pay half as much if you took double the load, but then you'd be taking double the load. And so I had kept all of the homework for that class, and I had actually even kept all of the tests for that class. And so I had a folder with all of my stuff.
Oof, you are so nerdy. You're so nerdy.
I retook the class, and that first test, actually, all of these, he added like one assignment that I had to do. All the rest of them, I took the assignment out of my folder. I looked at the notes that he said, "Hey, this is what you should have done better," and I corrected everything.
You did that,
and the first test, he didn't even change.
You played on easy mode. You let the game play itself.
And he didn't even change the test the first time around at all. Like, it was literally the exact same test, and he hands the tests out after you take them. And so I studied for the test from the test, and then after that he realized, oh shoot, I have someone retaking this class. He did. He actually talked to me. He's like, this class is full, and there's other people that want to get in. Why are you retaking it? And so I explained this to him, and he's like, okay. And
what are you gonna do?
And so after that, he changed some things around to be. It was basically the same test, but he changed the wording just a little bit. So instead of true, it was false, and like just a couple things here and there, but it was basically the same test still. And so super, super easy class to get an A in. And I got my full tuition scholarship after that.
I can't hate on that. I mean, it's almost genius, except it's kind of not. But I get why you did it. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, so as it was written in our little show notes spreadsheet, I thought you were like retaking class now
Oh.
to kind of correct a good grade, to correct a good grade that you got years ago. So it's less of an issue for me. And I'm not making any Mormon jokes.
I thought so. I read it as he wasn't happy that he got a B minus, and goodness gracious, I'm gonna go do it again.
No, I had a very specific reason for retaking the class that I did. I mean, shameless plug for the Mormon schools, Brigham Young University, Idaho, and Provo. They're relatively cheap, even for people who aren't members of our church. Granted, you'll then have to abide by their honor code system, which is pretty strict for a lot of people. But
I think I've read that honor code though. It's not. I mean, it's good. I mean, in terms of like being good people, it's. I mean, it's.
But like, you'll get kicked out of school if you're caught drinking alcohol, if you're found out to have premarital relations, stuff like that. So it's a religious school.
I thought those rules were only if you were in class.
But like for me, and I'm sure it's gone up some since then, but it was like $18.50 a semester. Not 18,000.
Not even 20.
$1,850 for a semester. Was tuition, and people who aren't members of our church, I think they paid like $200 more a semester. Like it wasn't a ton more. They did pay some more, but it's subsidized by our church, but they do, unlike other colleges, they don't want you to stick around forever. So if you keep switching majors, they will require you to talk to your educational advisor and come up with a plan to graduate, so that you don't just stick around and be a student forever. So they will kick you
every
out.
major at that college.
Well, and like for instance, as a computer science major, I would have actually had to petition to have a minor because my major had so many required classes. So yeah, things like that. They don't want you to be a forever student. They want you to get your degree and get out of there.
Right.
Devo says that during engineering, I knew some guys that were on their third round of semiconductor physics trying to get their grade up to a B. I've told a story actually on this show about the English class at the college I went to as a freshman. There were still seniors in there trying to pass the class. You had to pass with a certain level, like B or something like that, and they're still trying to pass, or C or whatever, but still. But I taught EMT school, and then there was this young lady who was just brilliant, smart, understood everything. I mean, ended up being a horrible EMT, but that's neither here nor there. But book-wise, she got it down, and she came to me almost in tears one day. It's like, hey, I need you to reset my test. And we have rules about that. It's like, okay, first you got to do these worksheets and you do this assignment on the book to show us that you actually learned something from failing, right? From not getting the right grade. You can't just retake the test because it is one of those. I mean, now it was only a few years ago, so now it's computerized. It's random questions, so you have to jump through these steps. But she had never failed anything. I'm like, what's wrong with you? She said, I didn't do as good as I needed to on that test. And I pull up, it happens to be the cardiology test for EMTs, which was 110 questions, and the biggest, hardest test we have throughout, except for the final, throughout basically the EMT training, because it's just a lot of information to learn as a new person to medicine. Guess her grade that she wanted, that was so bad that she wanted to retake this test.
80%.
All right, he says 80. Kurt, high or low?
Low.
96. She got a 96 and was so ashamed of herself. No, she was not Asian or any other kind of ethnicity where the parents beat the crap out of them. Hey, Nerd Nest, Bill got it just about 98. Very close. See, Bill's a teacher. Bill knows. Bill knows.
Yep.
That's a great graphic, by the way, Bill. Holy crap.
That's a that is the clear marking of a psychopath.
You know? Well, like I said, she ended up not being she was a not so great EMT. But
Oh,
when
she just took
passed
the class so
everything-
she could figure out how to kill people efficiently.
I have seen an EMT decide to go to mortician school. That one kind of threw me off. It's like,
Well, somebody's
Okay.
got to do it.
I mean, yeah, but typically, what? Here you go. Before we go on the next segment, what's the number one reason people go to EMT school?
To save people?
Very close. To help people. Every answer is like
To
"I
not
wanna
stop
help
at
people."
lights.
Now that's being honest, Kurt. People aren't even honest themselves. Yes, it's always to help people. I guess technically morticians are helping the family, but I don't know. It just was odd. I mean, the second underlying is basically to be the hero and save lives, and yeah. So that's what
I think people become morticians because there's that one chance that you get brought a dead body that you can bring back to life. Somebody missed something.
Go
Pushing
full
daisies?
Dr. Frankenstein. Pushing daisies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Roll that dice.
And
Let
Rando
Daddy
Kiddo,
decide.
let Daddy decide. Rando Kiddo, you took that out of context and you know it. I want to hear it. You heard the rest of my statement with that.
Let it go. Just let it go. Let it.
Fine. How
Let
Kurt,
Daddy decide.
Underscore.
there was too many
Yeah.
buttons there. I already know what
Advise
it
me,
is.
Daddy.
All right. How do I make a good jerky flavor? Now, I want to put this out to our audience too, because there's a lot of people who listen to the show, and hopefully you make beef jerky or chicken or whatever kind of jerky you make at home. I really want some guidance. We've been playing with our dehumidifier, dehydrator. Thank you. Yeah, I knew that was wrong, Kurt. I appreciate you, Pop. You always got it. Where's the word? There's when I need it. So he's looking around. Tell me. Okay, you got the halls. That's fair enough. I mean, at any age, you should keep halls around during springtime. But I would like your secrets if you have them of how to make it. I like tender jerky. I like usually at the store I'll get original or like teriyaki. And interestingly enough, I know what you're going to say, Joe, but really, I don't know who the company is behind it, so it's probably like Jack Links or something. But I like the 7-Eleven brand the best.
Of course you do.
I knew you'd say
just-
that, but it really is. It is good price and it tastes the best. I don't
He
know.
just marinates his meat in slushies. Slurpees.
That's not right. Oh,
Just like
at least-
on Paw Patrol. If you've ever seen the Paw Patrol movie, there's a line that says,
you know what?
I've got
No,
loose
don't
slushy
you bring
in my
Paw Patrol here to
skivvies."
my house. Do not bring Paw Patrol here to my house. They have no EMTs on their show. I don't want to hear that crap. Get that Paw Patrol crap out
That's
of here.
fair. That's fair.
I will
Those
kick
jerks.
a puppy.
Paw Patrol is just so 3 years ago. It's all about the Bluey now.
It's true.
Yeah,
There's a
you're
huge
wrong.
debate in the Bluey fandom right now over whose kid it was in the last episode.
So now I know, Kurt, you smoke meats and those kind of things, but Joe, I know you've eaten jerky. Usually, on our road trips, it is
Slurpee
It
jerky
is.
time.
drinks and dried meat times in the car. Yeah, we gotta be very careful that Joe is on edge tonight. I haven't seen the Mountain Dew, but I see evidence that there's Mountain Dew consumption. Yeah. See, I know. All right, but Joe, are you a dried meat kind of guy?
I like jerky.
All right, have you ever made your own?
I have not. Definitely have not.
So I go to you, Kurt. Now I've done some internet looking ups. Oh wow. Okay. Side note. Nerd Nest is a grandfather now. Check that out.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't catch that. I've been busy with other podcasts and stuff. Well, congrats.
Why do you think I brought it up? I mean, my granddaughter watches Bluey.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I mean,
we're not telling you congrats. We knew you had a grandkid a while back.
I will
Stop
tell
taking
you.
Bill's thunder. He won't remember your face, but stop taking his thunder.
Well, no. I will tell you that the coolest thing is my granddaughter watches Bluey, right? And we say, so who's on the show? And she gives everybody's names until she goes, and George.
And George.
And I'm going, what? She says everybody's name normally except George's because she only knows the like British pronunciation of that name. It's the weirdest thing.
From Peppa Pig.
It is Peppa.
Right.
It's the Peppa Pig thing, not just the Bluey thing. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But still, got the idea. All right, Kurt. Do you have Joe, you're waking up and choosing violence today. You're waking up and choosing violence, sir. So, Kurt, at Chattacon, that actually invented the Council of Dads. Was somebody came up and they were talking about Bluey and we were talking about Lazy Town and other stuff because one of my interviewees was a puppeteer on Lazy Town, and we're talking, and it became this. Nobody under the age of, I mean, that young lady was probably about 26. So everybody else was 30 and above, arguing, fun and loud. Not mean, but arguing. Is Bluey better than Lazy Town?
And it is.
By no means is that a thing ever. Is it more popular? Yeah, but no. So anyway, stop it. We're talking about jerky. And honestly, Bill, making jerky seems like too much work. I mean, to each their own, right? Everybody has their own thing. Mostly it's a marinade, and we've gotten a few recipes off the internet. I've had fun with an Asian one that we got that's almost kind of teriyaki-esque there with a little spice in it. But do you have any kind of recommendations on that?
I have never made jerky, and my air fryer will dehydrate, so I've been toying with the idea of doing it. But every time I toy with the idea of doing it, I just end up smoking some meat.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I get you.
Yeah. It is on my list, but I'd want to make beef jerky, and beef is expensive to make jerky out of.
Yeah, I get that. We usually buy like for the family dinners, and then we'll cut off some pieces to play with.
Sure.
We don't make a ton at a time. Daniel, the dribbler, I still love the dribbler. Hey guys, what's better, Lego or PlayStation?
Oh, that's easy. Lincoln Logs.
My kids were playing with Lincoln Logs earlier today, actually.
I mean,
he actually played with Lincoln's Log. I'm just saying, Kurt's been there. No, you are taking it wrong. Stop it. Kelsey's gonna get mad at you. Kelsey's gonna get mad. Stop it.
You're the one that put the S in the wrong place.
Did I know? So we'll go at that. Bacon jerky is good, but it takes a lot of work. Diva says Play-Doh is better. Look, I don't get Legos. I'm going to say it right now. I don't get it. Now I like it in the video games because you destroy stuff and they do the quick builds, but I've gotten my kids Legos and it's follow the instructions, build everything, and they're done. We've never been that family, that mindset that went, let's go figure out a million other things we can do with it. So you essentially just make a model and then you're done.
You can just buy a bag of assorted bricks. You don't have to buy kits.
See point 2, where it never was the thing for us to just go, oh, we'll just build whatever we want.
Oh, see, I used to do that all the time when I was a kid. I'd build like small little hydroplanes or starships or whatever, castles.
I did that with other things. Now, maybe I was too traumatized as a kid, because one of my biggest Lego memories was getting something for a special occasion, like a birthday or Christmas. It was this cityscape, and me and my dad had built it all. And then my sister, and I'm like 5 or 6 or whatever, one of the early ages you can get into Legos. And my sister, who's 3 years younger than me, just as a toddler or whatever she was, got it and basically destroyed it. And that was into that. I don't think we ever built another Lego set again together. So maybe I'm just traumatized. So my vote is PlayStation.
I like Lego.
That random kid agreed with you, but I think everyone else said something else. Although he only partially agreed with you.
Hey, can we go back to the whole bacon jerky thing?
Sure.
If you're going to go through the effort to make bacon jerky, just make your own bacon. Because it's so much better. And a lot cheaper.
Bacon.
So I'm supposed to raise a pig and slaughter it?
You
Or
kidding
just
me?
buy
No, just buy pork
belly.
belly.
Yeah.
That's
And make
all
your
it
own
is.
bacon.
Well, if
I
I'm
made
pork belly,
bacon.
I'm doing like burnt ends or something, baby.
I made pork belly. Well, I did that too. But I made bacon twice last year. You get like a 10 to 12 pound pork belly for like $30.
Okay.
And again, 10 to 12 pounds of bacon.
Yeah, it's
Way
all
ch-
turkey. I heard you.
but it's way cheaper than buying bacon. And you can flavor it however you want. And it takes about a week. Like you mix the brine or whatever, throw it into a Ziploc bag, get the air out as much as you can, leave it in the fridge for a week, cut it up, smoke it. If you want to smoke it, fry it up. It's done. And it's easy to make. You almost can't screw it up.
It did not sound super easy to make.
It was really easy to make. It really was.
Okay. I'm not against it. But sure.
He
then
said he's not against it. There you go, random kid. He's not against it.
Joe, put the Mountain Dew down, buddy. Know when to say when. Okay. Drugs, not hugs. Come on.
For our podcast listeners, random kid said blue raspberry Slurpee bacon for Charles.
That's gross. Air fryer recipes. All right. Do we have any air fryer? I mean, I personally just look up it online if I'm going to do any kind of cooking in the air fryer. I will say
in the summer, all of Australia is an air fryer, right? That's how hot it gets.
No. In our winter, their summer. Yeah. So right now they're coming out of the death of the air fryers. But I will tell you 100%, this is my opinion, air fryer way better than microwave. Throw in anything in your pizza, chicken, fried chicken, grilled chicken, fried chicken, whatever. And it heats it up really well. And I like putting a little bit of tinfoil in there so I don't have to clean it. I just put a little tinfoil in.
Oh, yeah. Let's
do it and lift it out onto the plate. I mean, yeah, it takes 2 to 3 minutes longer than a microwave, but it's way better. But anyway, we don't seem like the type of air fryer recipe guys, but does anybody have a good recipe?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. So
is it made out of Legos?
It is not. It is not. But I'm pulling up my cooking log that I keep on.
It's log. It's log. Yeah. It's round. It's
so let's see. A good, easy air fryer. How about this? French fries. Cut up.
I don't think it's what he's asking for, Kurt.
He has a new Australian air fryer, so just do these things backwards. So you cut up your potato into whatever size French fries you want. You soak them. You soak them in water to reduce the starch. And then you take them out, put fresh water in until the water runs clear. And then you dry them out a lot. You throw them in a bowl, put a couple of tablespoons of oil, and mix it all up. Make sure they're covered. Throw them in the air fryer for.
That was a dad joke. I'm leaving.
Nope. Throw them in the air fryer.
This feels like a dad joke setup right now.
Throw them in the air fryer at 380 degrees for 25 minutes, and flip about halfway through, and you're good to go. And they're crispy.
Interesting. Okay.
And they taste great.
Well, there you go, Daniel. Now you just need to petition Joe to cut this out as a clip and put it on WNN Clips on YouTube, and then you have it. There you go. All right.
And if you go to patreon.com/wiseandnerdy, then you'll be able to get the chicken wing recipe for your air fryer.
Hey, Charles.
Yes, sir.
Did you
Roll
know
that dice
that the first French fries
I did that.
weren't actually cooked in France? They were cooked in Greece.
This from a guy who always took a full load at Mormon school, but sure. Oh, you're not
Charles.
laughing now, are you? Are you? Come at me, bro. We're fighting. Let's go. I won't. Don't bring the dad jokes outside of that
Roll
time.
that dice.
Yeah, let's roll that dice.
Dad joke.
Oh, okay, cool.
Ball hockey. Ball hockey.
I rolled 2 of them. One had already been taken, so clearly we had to do the bad dad joke. That's just how it works, right?
It really is. I don't make the rules. That's just the way they are.
That Charles said that's how it has to happen.
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
why did the French fry say ow?
I don't know why.
He stubbed his potato.
Oh. I told my wife I could make a car out of spaghetti. Should have seen her face when I drove pasta.
Oh. Oh, yeah. All right, you can play one. I know we have a new one from tonight on Speak Pipe. Play one of those.
Oh, I don't have those pulled down. Am I supposed to? I can pull it down real quick, though.
Devo, next week after you hear the Patreon episode, you'll hear clearly me say to Joe, hey, we got a new joke from Devo and Speak Pipe. I'll let you grab that because the other ones are also the jokes from like Casey and whatnot from last week.
Okay. Now, if you would just shut your face, I'll play it.
Why do dragons sleep during the day? So they can fight knights.
Makes perfect sense to me.
But here's my favorite part about bad dad jokes.
Roll that dice. A commercial break would be good right now.
Whew. All right. And thank you. We need a reset after that stuff.
Like a chump.
So, all right. Here we go. Got some music going. Let's see. I think this is new. Did we listen to that one last week?
I don't know.
I think we did.
You moron!
Hey, look, we would love for you to join our fandom. Come on over to patreon.com/wise_n_nerdy and pop in on any level you want there. It gets you into the Discord where I am going to be asking for people's favorite jerky recipes. And that's where Kurt is. We could ask him about his smoked meats. That's where Joe is. We could ask him about sleeping on the couch because he pissed off his wife. All that at patreon.com/wise_n_nerdy. Now let's listen to this kind of poppy music. Hey, Kurt, how did we get that joke from Devo?
Do you like to speak to radio programs over the internet?
Just do the freaking read, man. Just do the read.
There is no read. Not anymore. But you too can leave a speak pipe on our speak pipe page at wiseandnerdy.com/calldad. If you like bad dad jokes, you can leave one for us at wiseandnerdy.com/calldad. Just like DevoSite does.
That was almost like a more you know. The music coming up there. All right, Joe. All right. What's next?
What are you nerding out about now?
All right. Well, you were very excited about your long title one. And oh, that's a good one, Kurt. I'll go last. You guys go first.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, so this past week I rewatched an anime with a really long title called Trapped in a Dating Sim, The World of Otome Games is Tough for Mobs.
I don't understand.
Otome.
That's the whole title.
Otome is a Japanese word for a dating game, basically. So it's basically saying dating game twice in that. So it is a very, very funny and absurd anime where the main character, at the beginning, his sister, I guess, has some kind of blackmail on him and forces him to beat a dating sim game for her. And so he wants to get it over with, so he crams and beats it and 100%s it, and he ends up so exhausted that when he walks outside, he trips down a flight of stairs and dies. And when he wakes up, he is in the world of the game. But he's not any of the main characters or anything like that. He's a backwater bumpkin, and he completely hates the entire world, and he makes it very clear that he hates basically all of the main characters, pretty much, especially the love interests from the game. And because in the game you play as a female, and so all the love interests are males, and so he goes out of his way to be very very to be jerks to all of them, basically. And so it is absurd and funny, and Kurt wouldn't like it, but because it's very over the top. But he sits there and he makes fun of the game all the time. He's like, okay, now there's random mechs, now there's random this. It's like it was a dating game made by a company who only knows how to make RPGs or something like that, and so there's a whole bunch of random stuff in it. There's dungeons in it, and there's magic and all kinds of stuff. And so he's like, he hates it, and it's awesome. It's very funny. You're muted, Kurt.
I like it.
You might, Charles, but it's on Crunchyroll, and I don't think you have access to Crunchyroll.
I have the free tier. I don't have any paid access.
Yeah, I don't know if it's available on the free tier. I'd have to check. But
have you played any of those dating games?
No.
They're crazy. Like, they're just straight up weird. I mean,
I bet.
So when Dennis was doing Botched Love,
yeah.
I mean, Phil and I would do a bunch of those with him, and we'd make up the voices and everything. There's a dating sim where everybody is a bird.
Okay.
There's a dating sim where everyone is a tank.
Oh, I remember him talking about that one. Yeah.
And then there's ones where they're human-ish, called Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, I will tell you that one has such a weird twist in it that you kind of don't want to let anybody know, and you want to encourage them to experience it themselves. It's strange. And literally, I was playing it with, I think, Phil, and we were streaming it, and I had never played it, and the big twist happens, and I'm going, what the heck is going on? Like, it like blew my mind. It was, and then it got weirder and weirder. And like, to the point, like, I'll even give a little spoilery thing. It will kind of understand that it's a game and restart the game in the middle of the game.
Okay.
And change it a little bit. It goes weirdly meta, and it's just it's very odd and very jarring and a great experience. Like, it's worth playing. But there's a lot that are just weird games. I think there was one where it was all about restaurant dating, and you had to choose the right foods in order to make the date work. Very strange. Very weird. But they're not afraid to try stuff in those games. Very strange. So what you explained as for this anime seemed really tame. like barring on normal, other than the fact that the guy went into a coma and thinks he's in a dating sim. I mean, that's what I'm presuming it is.
Oh, it's not a coma. He died.
Oh,
He
okay.
did.
So purgatory is a dating sim.
Not a tumor.
Purgatory is a dating sim. Oh.
So, what are you excited about, Kurt?
The new trailer came out for Deadpool and Wolverine.
All right.
It is fantastic. We're getting all kinds of stuff. And
Yep.
if you've not watched it, I'm going a little spoilery. So
Well, it's
suck it
a
up.
trailer. I mean, you
Suck
can't
it up,
really spoil a
Buttercup.
trailer.
Well, there's a lot. So a lot, including, you remember when Ant-Man grew really big and went into San Francisco Harbor to catch the Yellow Jacket dude? Yeah, his ginormous 40-foot tall corpse is in this.
Yeah.
In a wasteland, which is right out of the Old Man Logan comic book series, where they actually made a town based on his corpse. That in the comic book they called Pym Falls. Was the name of the town, but
Pym Falls,
yeah. But this is literally a character comes out of the Ant-Man helmet that raises up. You see his skull underneath, and people are living in there. It looks like.
So Kurt is known on This Week in the MCU of his breakdowns. Did you break the trailer down?
I did not, and mainly because I just haven't had time to devote
to
it yet. But there's a lot. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there.
Yep.
They go by a store called Liefeld's Feet Only. And it's because in the comics in the 90s, Rob Liefeld was the artist, and he was terrible at drawing feet. Like, literally just couldn't do it. And so there was that. We get to see the main villain in this trailer, and that's Cassandra Nova, who, comic book wise, was the twin of Charles Xavier that Charles destroyed in utero. But she actually didn't get to. It's weird. It's completely strange and weird.
That was perfect for a Deadpool
But
movie.
she's kind of an evil Professor X.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only real breakdown that I saw of it, they took apart that scene which is like just a second or two with Ant-Man, like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see, I never paused. I just watched it. Oh, cool. But I can see there's a line of people, more or less. It's hard to explain, but like warriors standing around, not in a line waiting to get in or anything. And they broke that down and they like, look, this is what, as best we can look at it, is what we think it is all these villains have been introduced in all the different X-Men universe movies.
Right.
There, like Lady Deathstrike looks like she's there. Caliban. Callisto, one that said we don't know her name, but she looked like she was invisible on this wall. And they showed a scene of where each one of these would be introduced in all the different movies. So I thought that if that's the thing, that's kind of cool.
Yep, Toad is in there. Azazel is in there from First Class.
Yeah.
They're from all over the place. It's a little crazy. Pyro is in there. And here's the thing. This is going multiverse. So
it has to with Ant-Man being dead. That has to, right?
But also the TVA is involved. And
I did see something there.
At the very end of this trailer, they're jumping through a sling ring portal.
I noticed that too.
And what's cool is
let's go.
They show the they show Deadpool and Wolverine jumping through the portal towards you, but in the background is Cassandra Nova just kind of standing there as if, oh, I don't know, she'll probably jump through the portal with them, but they're not telling you. And they don't show you where they're jumping through, which isn't normally how those portals work. So they're probably saving that for the movie. They probably left that blank, but it is awesome. I mean, just all kinds of stuff in there.
I'm excited.
And it is going to be crazy.
So, Joe, Deadpool's this awesome rated R movie.
I know what Deadpool is. There's a PG-13 version with many Princess Bride references.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. So, I mean, it definitely is not a kid's film. It's not for families, and I even waited a long time to show. I don't think my youngest have seen anything about it, to be honest. My oldest are 18 and 19, but they were in young teens, and I showed it to them at some point. But I'm excited about that.
It's going full R. They dropped like 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that
in the trailer.
And that was one of the biggest things that they said, like, Disney now owns Fox, blah, blah, but they're not going to mess with Deadpool. Deadpool's been a cash cow, right, for the last 2 movies. And then the other versions that they make and release, like Joe said, there's a PG-13 version. There's, the collectors, all this stuff. So Disney needs money right now. We're not doing great with the money right now.
There is some speculation. Already. So one of the things, in one of the previous trailers, Deadpool says, "I'm Marvel Jesus."
Yeah. Yes,
right?
He did.
So the speculation is that one of the things they're going to jump into, Wolverine and Deadpool are jumping into, is the final battle in Infinity War. Or in Endgame. And,
I know what you mean.
Yeah. And Deadpool puts on the gauntlet and does the snap.
Oh, to bring back Tony, so that Tony doesn't.
Back Tony.
Oh. Okay. I'm smiling. Except if that happens, screw you, Marvel. You just took away everything that ever happened.
But then wouldn't it just be an alternate reality Tony, because it branches off? Because the TVS thing is
that. Honestly, we do already have that with What If, which is canon.
Yeah, look, even if it is, they could still. It's a whole thing. Like that's the problem with multiverse, right? The problem with multiverse is somebody dies, you can bring them you can bring an alternate version into your universe, and everything's good. It's fine.
Which technically, in What If, they brought Black Widow back into the main universe.
Well, into a universe.
Yeah.
Well,
the main universe.
The way they lined it up with the story, it makes you believe. It made me believe it's the main, but also they haven't touched it yet. So you never know. It's just options, right? So it's interesting. I did like.
Deadpool is all about breaking the rules.
This is true. I did like they're bringing I forget her name, the blind lady back.
Oh yeah,
they're doing that cocaine bit.
Lady Daredevil. What?
No,
I have no idea who you're
that
talking
lady
about.
Deathloop.
I said
it's
Daredevil.
a character for the movies, and I think she's from the comics some too. But it's one of those side characters that steals the show, and if she's not in the movie, we get upset kind of character. But they're doing a bit about smoking or snorting cocaine. And the best line though, Joe, the best line out of that was like, because Feige is the master of the Marvel world, right? He's the extreme executive producer to making sure everything is continuity and we do everything in it. And so Deadpool is like, that's the one thing Feige said was off limits. It's no cocaine.
Cocaine.
I like, great line. Great line.
And that's Blind Al, and she's played by Leslie Uggams.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
And what was really funny is from the second movie, where he lifts up the floorboards. There's a whole bunch of cocaine and stuff in the floorboards. Also, something that was labeled the cure for blindness.
Yeah, right next to it.
So yeah,
I
can't wait. It's going to be fun. Yeah. It's going to be a really, really fun ride.
Oh, Devo says she's the overseer for Vault 33 and Fallout.
Ah, okay.
I haven't watched the new series yet.
So watched one episode.
Heard a lot of good things.
I'm hearing good things too, but I haven't seen it yet. So I've got one more week in a row to report on Screen Unseen. I was really happy with it this week. They did 3 back to back, and honestly, because I'm used to doing 1 or every other week at most, I'm like, last week was like, okay, I do love the Screen Unseen, and of course I don't have to go, but it really is kind of right now is my wife and I's thing of we'll put everything aside because this is once a month or once twice, but it was just 3 weeks in a row. I was like, 1 more movie tonight. Okay, let's go. No, let's cross our fingers. It's good. And of course, Erin's making her bets on what it is, and we're watching the previews. And one thing I know to be true since the VHS days is that previews give you a tone of what you're about to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned the hard way multiple times, like, man, these are the worst previews. These are horrible previews. What is going on? I hate everything about it. And I watch the movie and go, oh, I hate this movie. It's the worst. Yeah. So quality, whatever. And just the previews were there was a little bit of a horror one.
I was going to say, what were the previews? Maybe we can guess the movie.
I don't remember honestly, I don't remember the names of them, but one of them was this horror guy. Like he wears this weird mask when he didn't have a mask. His back of his head kind of looks like Deadpool-esque, but the camera's always over his shoulder and he's just slowly walking. He walks up on this yoga girl on the lake and she just screams randomly and animal, something like an animal in nature of an animal, something like that. Okay. But basically he's this murder, but he's like a slow Jason, like Jason is coming for you. And it was just a weird tone, weird everything. I don't know, man. They were I just blanked them out. They were not recognizable. That was one thing. None of it was recognizable. None of it was anything with any actors that you would know. And I was like, I leaned over my wife's like, did we get Scream Unseen? Or because that would be the horror series that do, which we don't, that's the one we don't go to because we just don't care about horror. Sting was one of the things, which is about a spider that gets massive or something. I don't know exactly how that goes. So like a horror creature film, a horror stalker film. I'm like, oh man, what's going on? And then I don't remember the name of the and the logos of the companies that produced the film we're about to watch. I leaned over, this looks bad. I don't know. I mean, the logos, I'm not a logo snob, and I'm like, this looks bad. It was Boy Kills World. And I was like, I wanted to see Boy Kills World. Oh my God. So much fun. Bill Skarsgård. Oh, okay. It's like this twisted take on Hunger Games where they do the culling, is what they call it. And it is a sideways film. I don't know what categories it would be in, but the trailers caught my attention originally because it is the guy who voices Archer, John, whatever his name is. Yeah. So it's obviously his voice. He goes, so whatever the name of the main bad guy is, she killed my family and when I was a kid and left me deaf and mute. And so step number 1, I had to get an inner voice. So I picked the last voice I remember hearing, which was a video game announcer. And of course they show this clip of John. Well, I mean, it's the voice in this arcade cabinet. He's like, player 2, introduce the game. It's him doing it. So his inner monologue is Archer the whole time, mixed with Bob's Burger, in there. So that was like, okay, that seems fun. And the whole idea is his family was murdered because they were enemies of the state, basically. It's a Hunger Games type hellscape, urban-esque, whatever thing. And of course, he grows up to be this master warrior with one goal, to kill this whole family. And, it is just as bonkers as you think. A Warrior, Kurt, the main actor in Warrior.
Yep.
He's in it with he could voice Wolverine with this accent and the voice that he uses for this character that he's doing. He's kind of cuckoo crazy. There's a running gag that because he can read lips, so that kind of hand waves while we can understand everything that's going on around him, right? Even when they're looking away from him, us the audience gets everything. So they kind of hand wave the whole I can read lips, except there's this one guy who apparently mumbles, and maybe we never find out. Maybe speaks a different language because everything's like Dodo Caddy T. It's like, is he mumbling in some weird language? And you never, to the last joke that is told about this guy, it pays off. This running gag pays off with that. But yeah, it's not a good movie,
Huh.
but it's fun. It's funny. It's violent. And for the surprise movie of the night, I was very happy to see it. And honestly, it made me think I might catch Borderlands that way because it's kind of that caliber of film. Now, Borderlands had a few more recognizable faces, but honestly, if you looked up Boy Kills World, you'll recognize the 3 or 4 main characters for sure. The assassin with the helmet, I didn't recognize her as what she's done before, but the husband, the brother, the main character, and the what they call him, the druid or something, the guy who trains him, and of course it's not Bill Skarsgård, it's the Skarsgård that played it, the clown. Oh, that was it too. One of the other previews was the new Crow movie that's coming out. Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was like. So I'm thinking the Crow is gonna possibly in Screen Unseen, and then I mean I don't know. When you put Kevin Hart in something, I don't know if we'd get it in Screen Unseen. But I was like, I think I'd be happier if Borderlands just popped up instead of going to it. And my wife's like, why? You know, to me that preview looks like everything that is that world of Borderlands, and I'm like, you watched me play the game some. I lived in that game for better part of a decade, and I still go back to Borderlands 2. Played all 4 of them. They did the pre-sequel and 1, 2, and 3, and just loved them all to various levels. Played the Telltale games. I'm just so worried about it a little bit. So yeah, I'm hoping that it'll be. But yeah, you roll the dice, and when the screen comes up and you start recognizing the movie, that's 2. I got the gentlemanly, the Ministry of Gentleman and Ungentlemanly Warfare was a great surprise, which she loved. And then I know she did not like this movie at all. It was reminiscent of like a Jean-Claude Van Damme sci-fi movie in the 90s, but it was fun. So
yeah, I'm gonna take a guess at the next one.
Now they haven't announced a date, so that's going to be a little bit harder.
Oh yeah, true. If it's kind of soon for it. Well, how early do they normally release?
About 2 weeks before. It's almost a 2-week lead time. Now we did it Monday, and I think Boy Kills World comes out this weekend.
Yeah,
or now
tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Okay.
yeah. So it was a week, but in the past it has been about a 2 week. Like the Ungentlemanly Warfare was a good 2-week lead. The anime one last week was about a 2-week lead, but this one is about a week.
So I was gonna say one of 2 things. Well, see, they don't do full on blockbusters, right?
Not yet. It's been like The Boys in the Boat.
It's been mostly
kind of
film
bio
festival
documentaries.
stuff.
Yeah, Clarence,
Yeah.
the Book of Clarence, those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because I was just looking to see what's coming out. The only one that would be a possibility would be possibly tarot.
Yeah.
That tarot card one. It's
Yeah.
another horror movie.
Which
Because-
that would be Scream Unseen, which I wouldn't go to anyway.
Yeah, and then otherwise there's like the Fall Guy.
That is on the, but it looks like they're trying to be a blockbuster. So I
But
don't
Ryan
know.
Gosling and Emily Blunt. I mean,
I know they're huge. So
they're huge. So, and then otherwise it would be like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and that's going to be way too big.
I think that's not, because I did tell Aaron, I was like, I am an investor for AMC, and I was like, honestly, I think they're on to something with the Screen Unseen and the Scream Unseen also, and all this stuff. But can you imagine? I know you get this, and Joe, I think you get this too. It's like, can you imagine the coup they would pull off that 2 weeks before the big Marvel movie hits, you're seeing the Marvel movie? I know, but
Yeah,
that would be like, oh, now people are going randomly because you might see Planet of the Apes, because you never know. Now, all you got to do is 1 a year, maybe 2 at most. And the buzz that comes off of that, going, oh my God, I saw this major movie 2 weeks before. Because they're obviously getting good buzz off of these things. Otherwise, I don't think they would have run them 3 weeks in a row this month.
I got it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a comedy, and it's going to be not another church movie. It's one of those parody
Oh my
movies
God.
that's supposed to be making fun of the Tyler Perry
Oh no,
Tyler Perry
I
movies,
would eat that movie up.
and Jamie Foxx, Kevin Daniels, and Mickey Rourke. Jamie Foxx is playing God, Mickey Rourke's playing the devil, and it looks like it's going to be a terrible movie. So why not screen unsee
Why
it?
not? Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you, Kurt. I'm with you on that. I like it. All right, we are down to the Council of Dads, and we brought this up before at the end of a show one point, I think it was, and we're like, let's talk about this as a topic because it kind of hit some buttons for all of us. Here's the premise. If you never say no, you're a bad parent. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I mean, that's really strong language.
I know. That's why I phrase it that way. If you never say no to your kid, are you a bad parent?
If you never say no to your kids, more than likely you're a bad parent.
Kurt's thinking about it.
Well, I'm just because look, here's the thing. I've gone through a whole lot of these phases where people say, I don't tell my kid no because I don't want to reinforce negativity. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, that's dumb. I think saying no, you know what? I think saying no is a good thing. However, I think you need to say no the right way.
Okay, go on.
I think what I see is people saying no because they don't want to deal with something versus saying no to teach. So what I mean is, look, I'll take an extreme example, right? Kid goes to reach for a hot stove. You go, no, because you don't want them to get hurt.
Okay.
People say, kids, and then it gets more complicated. Kids go, hey, I want to go to this party. Well, are their parents going to be there? No, but they'll be back that night. No, because there needs to be adult supervision.
So are you just changing your inflection? I mean, what we do?
He's a Pokemon that says no.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
so
what's the wrong way to say no?
It's very situational. So if somebody says, hey, I want cereal for breakfast. No. And the reason I say no is because I don't feel like making it for you.
But I'm handicapped, laid up in the bed, can't go make it for him, Kurt.
Then you're a bad parent. No, but I think if there is a reason to say no, then that's fine. If you're saying no for selfish reasons, that's less fine.
Okay, that's a side note I could argue with. I'll give you the example of what made me think of this. Besides the fact that it popped up randomly at the end of one of our shows, it made me think of this story. My brother-in-law, his daughter is 4 days younger than my oldest son. You know, they were born within 4 days, exact same age other than that. And so we're raising the same basic level of kid at the same time. There was times when, as they're toddlers, as they're young kids, they're asking for things, and they just ask, right? And there were times when I said no because I was tired, right? Can we go out for the 15th time to go play in the street? No. Daddy needs to watch Battlestar Galactica and rest, buddy. And there was just times when you don't know why, but you trust an instinct, and you go, no, not this time. Now that was us. My brother-in-law, I don't remember what made us go, what are you doing? He would not tell his daughter no to anything. And we went, why are you doing that? And he goes, well, if I can't think of a reason for them not to, why not? I'm like, that's the worst parenting I have ever heard in my life. I can't think of, because he can never think of a reason not to. Anything she asked, she got to do. Because you can never think of a reason not to. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. You're a bad parent. That's horrible. And it has had its effects with both of his kids throughout their life. Now, is he a horrible parent? No. He didn't like chain them in the basement. He didn't malnutrition them. He didn't put his cigarettes out on their eyeballs or anything. No, he's not the worst parent, but there were no boundaries set. And that was, Devo says, to set boundaries, you have to be willing to say no. It isn't as if no has to be default, but it is necessary. And we're honest parents. You know, I'm not saying this makes us good or bad. They kind of come into your selfishness thing. I'll use my wife as an example because it's easier to think of other people's examples than your own. But when Crosby got to driving age, man, she's second kid. She watched her brother learn. She learned really fast. She listened to me, but she's got the confidence, and she is safer. She is smarter, but she immediately wanted to start driving, you know, into Atlanta with her friends or up to these other areas. And my wife was like, I can't. I get it. You're somewhat of a safe driver, but number one, I don't worry about you. I worry about everybody else. But number two, I mean, just all these, some reasonable, some unreasonable fears are in my wife's head. And she's like, I just can't. The answer is no. There's just no way. And Crosby look at me and I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not prone to just overruling my wife and like, that's crazy. Let's do it anyway. That's not how this house works. But I understand why she looked at me. But like, look, I can't think of a good reason to say yes on this, aside from your mom's fears, which I can understand a little bit of, but I can also understand she's admitting that they might be irrational. I can think of a lot of things that can go wrong, and you haven't been doing this long enough for me to think of reasons that'll go right. So that's where I come off there. I mean, there definitely have been some times, and you're not necessarily wrong, Kurt. There's been some times like, yeah, no, I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I don't care. So, and that can be bad parenting sometimes.
Yeah. So to your first example about, you know, I just need to lay down, watch Battlestar Galactica, and just like chill. That's a no, and that is a little selfish, but it could be twisted a little bit if you say, tell you what, I am like crazy tired today, so not today. But what if we plan on doing that tomorrow?
I don't want to do it tomorrow.
Well, okay. All right.
But I see where
that's a different story.
Right. Now you're getting into the realm of truly selfish versus tired.
Hey, now sometimes it's just being self-centric is not the same as selfish. But yeah, there's you know, so, as opposed to like the kid, you know, in the same kind of scenario, they're all, each one of the kids, except for Zoe being the youngest, and she will, I'm sure, hit this phase. Every last one of my kids have hit a phase of just, I don't want to do anything. Hey, you want to run a store with me? No. Hey, you want to go to this festival on the weekend? No, just nothing. They didn't want to do anything. And we've given them boundaries on that one too. But Joe, what is something that you've said no to your kids, but then went, maybe I should have said yes?
Ooh.
Bad Joe.
I think at like times when I'm busy trying to work on something, trying to do something, like maybe work on cleaning up something or work on dinner, and my kids, they want me to stop and play with them for a little bit or something like that. And sometimes I wonder if I really ought to have stopped what I was doing, even though, you know, we got to eat, we got to clean, we got to, you know, there's things you got to do to live in society like normal. But that's also stuff that delaying it by 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever, it's not, in general, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And so there are instances where I'm perhaps doing the dishes where I should have just stopped and spent some time with my kid because they're asking me to spend time. Because like Charles said, there comes a time where they're not going to ask you to spend time with them anymore. That's not what they're going to do.
You want to double dip on this a little bit though, Joe? You spend time by teaching them how to wash the dishes so that it becomes their job.
Well, that's actually not stupid crazy, right? Because
I know.
literally, Joe, you could have the best of both worlds. You could say, look, if you come up here and help me with the dishes, then we'll get them done faster and I can spend time with you.
Because in your oldest 10,
11, but yeah.
11, this is a time that they should be washing their own clothes. And I'm not saying like you're a bad parent if you don't do it, but I grew up this way. I raised my kids this way. You're washing your own clothes at this point, or helping at least. You're learning how to do all that, and when they can get on a stool, they wash. And honestly, at a younger age, that's how they wanted to spend some time. Is like if I've got some great photos of Crosby and I in the bathroom with tools fixing the toilet, and she's sitting there cranking the wrench or whatever it is to get the bolt off, and like we're replacing a whole tank, and we're doing a task together. And the saying goes true with washing the dishes and loading the dishwasher and doing their own clothes, to the point I can happily say there's a lot of things I might be disappointed with my oldest son, but we don't pretty much do any of his laundry. He comes home, he does his own thing, make sure he gets it his way, and it's good. I like it. Joe, you said my 11-year-old is currently sleeping in just his underwear because he forgot to wash his clothes today. Hey, but that means you're on it, right? and
Yep.
I know I've told stories of my wife about how essentially my grandparents felt like my mother had me and my sister because she just wanted slaves and didn't want to do anything. That's how they saw it. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't tell you how old I was, but at some point it was my job to wash dishes and everything. And my sister and I had to take turns standing on the stool. Like I did it on Monday this week, she did it on Tuesday, but we had to stand on a stool because we couldn't reach the sink. But it's our job to do it. So I haven't taken that far.
Look, when my kids were old enough to walk around, I got them little snow shovels.
There you go.
And just to come out and help with the driveway, which morphed into you guys are doing this.
Yeah, you got this, puppy. We got, I get what you're saying about the spending time, but take that out of it, Joe. Is there things, oldest kid to youngest kid? When your oldest was 4, because your youngest is 4 now, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So when your oldest was 4, was there things you can remember going, yeah, no, we're not doing that because you've learned through life that now the youngest is like, yeah, sure, whatever, we'll do that?
Nothing jumps out at me, not really. I try to take time with the kids, but yeah, that's the biggest thing is I mean as a full-time working father, you're always gonna, at least if you're a good father, you're always gonna worry about how much time you actually get to spend with your kids. That's just how it is, because it never feels like you spend enough time with them.
Oh, I totally. There are definitely times
there are definitely days where you're like, I need 10 minutes to myself. Please don't say dad right now.
Yeah. And Kelsey's over there. Oh yeah, 10 minutes yourself. I've had them all week, fool. Come on, because that's how I've heard Kelsey. She calls it full. It's fine. It's good. My apparently it's time for me to get new headphones because I am losing one ear on this and it's driving me. Oh well, there goes the cable. So that was a thing, and we'll see if it'll reconnect.
We lost him. He's gone forever. But to elaborate,
this is why Charles is a bad dad.
And now's your time to tell bad dad jokes because I can't hear you.
Charles is the bad dad joke.
Yep.
But no, to elaborate on how you started off, Kurt, using no more as a safety guardrail is definitely one of the better parenting techniques out there. Because like if you're driving, those guardrails, they're there to protect you from, going off a cliff. Same way with saying no to your kids, it should be a guardrail to guide them into not making, life altering mistakes.
Right. Yeah. And I think Devakate, I'm going to pronounce it differently every time I say it because I have no idea. I think that one of the things that he brought up was if you say no all the time, you're a bad parent. And I think there's something to that as well, right? Because there's got to be times of yes. We just have to try to be balanced if we can. And I really do think it just gets centered around selfishness.
Sometimes, yeah, absolutely. I'll say I've made it a habit throughout the years to take my kids to work. I worked at home, and I was like, "Hey, as long as if I'm on the phone, you gotta be quiet. But other than that, I set up space for them to hang out with me, to do things. Now I take them to the office, and it's like if I have to have meetings, I'll go sit at the table and play on the internet, whatever. But uh, each kid has gone to trivia or karaoke when I was doing that stuff, some cons. So I like Joe, you have a situation. Now I know sometimes you're in meetings or you really have to focus, so you don't want your kids down in the basement, but there might be times that you can go, you know what? They want to come hang out with dad while dad's working, ask me a few questions, whatever,
Not while I'm
it'll work.
working. No. Dude, because
Bad dad Joe. No
I
jokes,
never
Joe.
No, I never know when I'm going to be working on something that has HIPAA information. So they cannot be in here while I'm working. Now I will pause while I'm working and go upstairs and whatnot. But I am handling HIPAA information on a daily basis. So
Because I get it. I get it. That 4-year-old, he's mouthy. He'll go to kindergarten church and be like, "Oh, Mrs. Smith has got the HIV. I don't know what HIV is, but she got it."
exactly. That's exactly how it would happen.
That's how it goes.
Yep. Because Joe's kids sound like Geraldine from Sanford and Son.
Did you not hear Daddy tell me a story? Yeah, come on. Now I will say, recently I had a victory as a father. Ryland, my youngest middle kid, so he's the third kid out of 4. He's off and on throughout the years have had issues with his mom. That's just where he decides to have issues. He won't come at me. Not really. He likes to try to cry behind my back, like, "Dad didn't like this." And when I catch him, like, "Look here, you little punk." Anyway, but there was a thing where he basically told his mom, "No, I'm not going to do that." She says, "Well, if you don't do this, you're not going to play baseball." And he goes, "Fine, I won't play it." Of course, it pissed her off, and whatever. And she's telling me about it. So I thought to myself, "Look, I want to talk to you about that. And this is exactly why we've had this talk. This is exactly why I told you to do this." And then he goes, "Well, blah, blah." I was like, "No, I'm talking about your BS attitude of, oh, I just won't play baseball. You love baseball. You've been improving. You really do put effort into it. And for you just to snap off like that, that's dumb." And here was the victory. The victory was, I'm not looking for a number. You can say a lot or little, but how much of your life have I just said, shut up, you're going to do this? Or your mom, either one of us. He goes, "Yeah, a little." I said, "Exactly." So as I'm saying it now, and she said it then, shut up. You're going to do this, because it's one of those few times that we say, I don't give a crap what you think. You don't know what you're talking about, and you're going to do it this way. And no, I'm not going to play baseball. No, I'm not going to let you spite yourself to spite us. So after the season, if you want to be a little punk and do that, whatever, I'm not going to fight you. But right now we're here, and we're gonna do it, and it worked out. And along those lines of what Kelsey's saying about tell them why, And I mean, yes, there is going to be a time that's because I said so, and that's very rare in our house too. And you know what? When that comes, Kurt, I think you're like this one, because you've told all these hippie tree hugging stories about how you raised your perfect kids, whatever. Your non-felony criminal kids, fine, rub it in all our faces. But crap, I made a joke and I distracted myself where I was going with that.
Oh man.
Because I said so. Because okay, why? Well, we try to explain it this way. And as long as it's not, I mean, if you do the why, no, you don't get to come with that to you. But you kept asking, you're just not listening. We've explained it 3 different ways. Finally, it's like, because I said so. You're not really, it's because you're not listening. But we just, because that's the only time we do it, because I hate that. I hate that.
I mean, to Kelsey's point, kids do want to understand, but based on their age, you don't have to give them a full-on explanation, because they like a 3-year-old, 4-year-old. No, you're gonna hurt yourself. That's enough. That's all they need to know. That's like they don't need to know how they can hurt themselves. They don't need to know that bowling balls are heavy. It doesn't matter. Like, they just need to not do it. And as you get older, you can increase or as they get older, you can increase the explanation. But it's not a debate. It's not a classroom, although it is kind of, but it's not really a classroom. You don't have to give them all the reasons. You have to give them enough to make it make sense. But yeah, I don't like because I said so either. I kind of detest that because that's not respectful. It's just not.
Man, I've had to do it at work once or twice, and I've said if I have to remind you, and like I said, literally only once or twice. I'm like, who are you talking to? Because I'm the COO. You got to remember. If I got to remind you who you're talking to, it's a bad day for both of us because I haven't communicated well enough, but also you've pushed the line that's been pushed too far. Yeah.
Work is very different. Work because I've had those people. I've had those people.
But it is a little similar though.
It is. But like adults can be really bad at this. Like really, really bad at this. Like I will have people come up and say, here's why I think we should do this.
Sure.
And I'll say, I understand there are other factors at play that you're not aware of. And I can't go into it for, confidentiality or whatever. And so we're going to do this anyway. I'm going to say no to you, but we're doing this. And those adults who continue to argue about it, I will get to the point where I'll go, look, I'm the boss. You need to do what I tell you. And I'm sorry you don't agree, but do your job.
There you go. Yeah.
And because they get all weirdly defensive and obstinate about the whole thing. And I'm just like, I don't have time for this. I've given you all the explanation that you need. Sorry, it's not going your way. Do the work.
I came up with that a few months ago. It's like, my new phrase is, all right, you've been heard. Now you'll do it anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm being very clear that I heard your input. I want it this way. And actually, I've only got to tell that in anecdotal stories. I've not actually got to use it, just like I haven't been able to use the phrase, you're not conducive to the team that I'm building. Sorry, bye.
The other phrase that I haven't been able to use all that much is, that's the show for tonight. Welcome back next week.
Follow these nerdy dads on social media. Charles at Rock God of Podcasting, Joe at Joseph_Ard. Check out the website, wiseandnerdy.com. And as always, they may not be your father, but they'll always be your daddy.
And VO by Kurt everywhere. VO by Kurt.
That's not an Oxford comma. Oh, it's wild berry slurpy jerky time.
Nerd.
Felt like the right thing to do.
I sensed it, though. I sensed it. As soon as you sat up, I'm like, oh, my finger's on the button. Let's go. Let's do this.